Hello, Alistair. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Thank you for joining me again. Good to get some more information out there for our viewers, isn't it? What's the latest situation with water? Because I know that everyone's been a little bit concerned about what's happening with our water.
Well, for getting on for 2 weeks now, we've had drinking water that's fine to drink. Nobody needs to boil their water anymore, which is great news. But the thing that is still causing a little bit of problem for some people is recreational water.
Right.
So we're talking about the rivers in Canterbury. Nearly all of them are contaminated, and they will remain contaminated for several months because the sewerage pipes are broken. There are germs getting into our stormwater systems, and that actually is reflected in very high counts of human fecal contamination in our rivers at the moment.
Okay.
So the important message there is avoid it at all costs. So we really don't want people kayaking or rowing in the river because you'll get contaminated. We certainly don't want people collecting whitebait because, of course, it ends up in people's freezers. They forget about it and serve it to their friends months later and could easily get sick from that. And, of course, collecting shellfish because shellfish concentrates the germs. The good news is the beaches at the moment are okay. So we tested the beaches last week. So for surfies and people who want to swim in this cold weather, you can go to the beaches, but avoid the estuary, avoid the rivers.
Okay, so beaches from Taylor's Mistake as far north as Woodend Beach.
That's right.
That's pretty good.
Had some information this morning suggesting that further north they're okay as well, but avoid the river mouths, obviously.
Okay, so all of those recreational sports people and fishermen and things like that, just stay well away. Don't risk it.
And some of the surfies like the breaks on the rivers, so you've got to stay away from that.
Okay, and so you were saying for another few months that will be likely to be in place?
That's right. Yes, we'll continue to test the water. Of course, we work with ECAN, with City Council. We keep an eye on that, and we will put signs up where there's a risk. West of Fitzgerald Avenue, the river's okay. It's never that good up there, but it's not been contaminated with broken sewerage pipes. So the Antigua boat sheds and the punting company are still running.
Okay, they're still going as normal. Well, that's very good to know. Now, I know a lot of people, of course, over the last couple of weeks have been dealing with a lot of stress and anxiety, getting, very little sleep. How are some of the ways that we can cope with that? Well,
the first thing we remind people is it's your family and friends that are the most important people. Keep talking to them, keep listening to your children. Some children are still reporting a bit of anxiety, but listen to them, let them express themselves, let them talk about it. But of course, for some people it will be cause more anxiety than for others. We have seen an increase in reported chest pain to the hospital. I've seen a few myself when I work as a GP, often caused by anxiety. Actually, the good thing is that many of these people are okay and they're actually presenting nice and early. So
that's one good thing to come out of that.
Yeah, they're certainly not dying. They're just feeling a bit anxious about stuff and getting picked up quickly. But for some people who are feeling continuously anxious, there are helplines. We're now well into recovery mode, and the Ministry of Social Development have a recovery team which we work with, and there's an 0800 number which you'll be able to share with your viewers.
Fantastic. We'll show that very soon. Just quickly as well, I know a lot of mothers have been sleeping with children and babies and things over this time, which is understandable, but there's a few safety guidelines that we should be remembering.
Absolutely, especially as many babies may be in they might be in a different environment, so we've recommended to not forget, the message about face up, face clear and smoke free, which is very important for babies. Keep them on their back so they can breathe properly. Make sure they don't have pillows or anything that could block their airways, and try and remain smoke-free in the house because that does reduce the risk of illness in these babies. Okay, so that's really important too. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Dr. Alistair Humphrey. We'll let you know the government helpline as well. Just quickly for you now, if you haven't jotted that down, remember it is 0800 779 997. So that is continuing to run, and they'll be able to point you in the right direction. But for further information, of course, of the Canterbury District Health Board, just log on to their website too, which you'll be able to see there, cdhb.govt.nz.